What's going on, everybody? I'm back for part two. Uh, no, it's been about a week. Was waiting on a couple of records. Also wanted to find the energy to do this. I work in nonprofit. I work with uh, kids with disabilities. I don't have a lot of energy all the time after work, so uh, I usually do these videos, when I've got new stuff and then when I'm feeling in the mood to do it. Feel like I have the energy, feel like I want to talk about records, which I always want to talk about records, but you know, doing a video sometimes I'm just like, ooh, sounds like a lot of work. But tonight, I definitely have the energy. I want to talk about these records finally. It's a really awesome stack. Like I said in the last video, I've been getting rid of most of my stuff. Um, this whole stack I'm about to show you is new arrivals for me. I traded a lot away too at stores just because I don't know. I was finding really good stuff, so I wanted it. Like I talked about in my last video too, my philosophy going forward is I want stuff in my collection that I really love and that I want to listen to and that I will listen to. And everything that I'm about to show you falls under this category. But before we get there, um, you know, notice anything different? Um, yeah, I over the weekend, this past weekend, I know it's like Thursday, but excuse me, I went and got a 2x2. Just fits my needs better right now, obviously since I downsized. I put the other one in the other room with all the other records I still have left over. So if this puts it in perspective, this is everything I'm kind of selling over here. These two up here is what I'm keeping. That's like my current collection that I'm updating and that I have logged. Everything else is gone out of Discogs. And then this beautiful rack. My friend Mike, uh, Mike's a great guy. He's the one who I actually went to the record show with, a few months ago. He gave me this rack. I went over to his house one night to listen to some albums, and he's like, "Hey, you want a free like audiophile rack?" He's like, "I got a better one, and I don't use this one." So I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it." Finally got it set up. I like this setup a lot more. It feels less cluttered. It feels just more organized to me. And then the other thing is I finally got a preamp. If you can see this guy right here. I think it's the Fozzy Audio Box X2 or something like that. I got it off Amazon. I don't order off Amazon very often unless it's something I can't find anywhere else. It was like 60 bucks, 1 day shipping. I thought that was a pretty good deal. And I already have noticed a great deal of improvement in my sound. Now, I'm not the biggest audiophile. Never claimed to be. I like sound. I like my records to sound good. But, I'm not that person that's going to go and spend $3,000 on a turntable, $4,000 on a receiver or a powered amp or whatever. Just not who I am, but I still want it to sound good. So I'm gonna do that on the budget that I have and that I can allow for it. You know what I mean? Um, and as of right now, I'm really digging the sound. I am gonna upgrade these tubes because this is a little tube preamp. Now, it is not the signal is not run through the tubes. They are a buffer tubes. So if anybody has any questions on that, but I am gonna upgrade them to some Soviet tubes, I think. Yeah, super cool. I really dig this setup now. Took me forever to get this thing. My floor right here is really uneven. Took me forever to get that thing balanced. It was a pain. Anyways, I got a lot of records to show. I'm gonna kind of go through some of these. And before we do that, I've been following the whole MoFi thing. I feel like I should comment on it a little bit. I don't have any MoFi products. I don't collect them. It's not really my thing. My thing is originals. Um, it's kind of a shitty situation. Feels like the company was a bit dishonest. A bit. Um, yeah. If you guys collect MoFi or anything and you guys are upset, I'm sorry to hear that. I feel like there definitely should have been more transparency. I know that's the big word right now is transparency. But it's true. I mean, if you're buying these products at a premium, I think that the company should be letting you know the full process of it. Um, that's my take. Like I said, I don't have any products. Yeah, let's get into some originals though. Now, this is a record I've shown on here before. Traded my other copy. The very next day, I found one for $7. Felt like I should probably have this in my collection then. Again, Dusty in Memphis. Another copy. This is my third copy. $7. Couldn't go wrong. Not the greatest copy, not the worst copy. I'm happy with it. Next up is People Hold On by Eddie Kendricks. On the Tomo label. Now, you know, right before disco kind of became big, definitely like a big influence on that sound, this album was. What's the song? Girl, You Need a Change of Mind. That is actually a really phenomenal song, but you can tell it's like the precursor to the disco sound. Really great album. Eddie Kendricks has a great voice, comparable to Marvin Gaye. Not quite the same, but comparable. Great album. Was a good price, saw it, thought I'd get it. I never see that album. Got this at the same exact store, actually. The Revolution Will Not Be Televised by Gil Scott-Heron on Flying Dutchman. Now, this, to me, is an essential for any... If you like this kind of music, it's an essential. If you don't, then obviously not. But if you like funk, if you like jazz, a mixture of any of it, you know, spoken word, this is an essential. If you like any of that, anything within those realms, it's an essential to me. But again, it's just another record I never see. But I thought the cool thing with this one is it had the Flying Dutchman inner sleeve. I've never seen one. I really don't see a lot of Flying Dutchman stuff anyways. Records, I mean. So I always, it's like one of those labels I always think is a treat when I do. Because I really enjoy seeing that because I like Flying Dutchman. I thought, you know, I think there's a lot of killer titles on that record label. But yeah, essential. Now, this next album, after reading about this album, finding out about this album initially, I don't know how I never knew about this album, but I didn't. It's something that's like right up my alley too. I just had never heard it. Didn't particularly know the artist, but I found this at a thrift store for $1 and it was sealed. You know, I looked it up while I was there and I was like, oh, this goes for like pretty good money. Like, I'm gonna grab it and anyways, because if I don't like it, I'll sell it. This is Musical Massage by Leon Ware. Original Monarch pressing on Gordy. Turns out I love this album a lot. Really, really dig this album. I don't know how it was not on my radar before. From my understanding, it's kind of a cult classic album in the soul and funk realm. And I can see why. This album is phenomenal. The production in particular blows me away. This album sounds so damn good. It sounds so good. You know, it's funky, it's soulful. You've got Marvin Gaye on here. Who's the other person? I can't think. Mary Clayton's on here. I forgot about Mary Clayton being on here. Who else? Minnie Riperton, that's who I was trying to think of. David T. Walker on guitar. It's got a lot of really good players and singers on here. And it is just such a killer album. Check this one out if you don't know it like I didn't know it. Really well worth it, in my opinion. Not an easy one to find, and I can't believe I found it at a thrift store. Now, this next one is an album I had been looking for quite some time, and I finally found a copy. I know this just got reissued, I think, earlier this year. Maybe end of last year, I don't quite remember. But that is Fela Ransom Kuti in the Africa 70 with Ginger Baker. Original US pressing on Signpost. Possibly a promo. Who knows? Killer album. Straight up. Funky as hell. Groovy. Intense. Got it all. This album has got you covered in that realm. Love it to death. So happy I finally have an original copy of this. Killer. Now, this next record was also sealed when I found it. This one I was somewhat familiar with, though. This is Antiquity by Jackie McLean and Michael Carvin. This is on Inner City, originally put out on Steeplechase. Ooh, Bowie is in here, everybody. Bowie, come here. Say hello. Hello. Thank you, buddy. I know. Like I was saying, originally put out in Steeplechase. Now, I was actually trying to sell this one on my Instagram for a while, because I know it's like a sought-after album, but I hadn't given it a good listen before I was trying to sell it. And I finally gave it a good listen, and really interesting album. Jackie McLean, great playing as always. Michael Carvin's drumming on this, phenomenal. Killer. Best drumming I've heard in a little while. Love it to death. You know, a bit free, a bit spiritual, but never really going too far out in either realm. You can tell that, you know, it's Jackie. So at the very heart of it, it is rooted in hard bop. Not saying there's any hard bop tunes, particularly, don't know why I'm having trouble speaking. But you can, you know, you can tell that's where he came from, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. At least I can. I don't know. I'm not trying to sound pretentious when I say that, but it's just what it sounds like to me. Great album. Check it out if you don't know it. Now, this is something I might be saying a lot in this video, but this is an album I've been looking for forever. The Centaur and the Phoenix by Yusef Lateef. Original mono pressing on Riverside. Walked into a store, was looking at some records. Was up near the counter, saw this one was in a stack and about to get priced, and I said, how much is that? And he's like, it's not a great copy. He's like, $15. I was like, I'll take that. Yeah, I have been looking for a copy of this for quite some time now. Really killer album, great lineup on here. I'm not going to read it because it's just long, but this is a phenomenal album. It's not the best copy, but it's not the worst copy either. I don't mind a bit of noise, personally. It means I can get things cheaper. Like this. Yeah, really good album. I don't have any other Yusef at the moment. I've had Yusef in the past. This is probably up there as one of my favorites by him. Great album. Gonna say it again. One I've been looking for forever. Smoking at the Half Note. Wynton Kelly Trio with Wes Montgomery. This just came in today. I won this off an eBay auction. Never seen one in person. It just never pops up that often. At least around me. And this is another killer album. I mean, you got Wes probably performing his ass off, to be honest. It's a really great representation of Wes Montgomery with a killer backing band to just support him. Just a great record, you know. Ooh. Original stereo pressing on Verve. There is a 65 pressing. I believe it's a mono pressing. Great album. Another one I've wanted for quite some time. Back from the Gig by Booker Ervin. Now, I am a big Booker Ervin fan. I love his playing. I love his tone. I love pretty much almost everything he's done, to be quite honest with you. This is no exception. This is actually two different albums that were previously unreleased. One is by the Horace Parlan Sextet on side 1 and 2. And the other one is just Booker Ervin's band. Now, I don't remember the name of the first album by the Horace Parlan Sextet. It's something with like Smiling or something like that. Regardless, amazing album. Both of them are. They're both amazing. I know the second one is called Textbook Tenor. It was released on the, I believe, CD back in like the mid-2000s. Something like that. Could be wrong. But regardless, they're both just really killer albums. I believe that both of them should get the Tone Poet treatment. I believe that's what the Tone Poet treatment is meant for, is albums like these two that are not put out anywhere else, but yet just amazing. Love it. One of the best in this reissue series. That's what they call it, right? Yeah, the Blue Note reissue series. Killer stuff. Now, these next two are from a label that I'm trying to collect all of them of. It's going to take me a little bit to do so. They're starting to get pricey, but you know, with these next two, I'm up to a quarter of the way there. That was Black Jazz. Found Infinize randomly. Just was in a store, went through their new arrivals, and this was in there. Original Black Jazz, tan label. Now, I'm not the biggest on Doug Karn and his albums on Black Jazz. Mainly because of the vocals. They're not my favorite. Now, I listened to this and I liked it more than I remembered liking it before. I thought the playing was really great. Still not huge on the vocals, but didn't think it was as bad as I remembered. But of course, you know, I want to collect the Black Jazz label, and of course I gotta have Doug Karn. I mean, that was their best-selling artist. Good album. Sounds good. Sounds really good. If you ever find an original, get it. But just not my favorite album musically. Now, this next album is a different story. This is Mirage by The Awakening. This is a killer album. Really, really killer album. This is a white label promo. Yes, it actually says promotional copy. Man, the song Slinky to me is just like one of the perfect jazz funk songs. When that Fender Rhodes comes in, you got me hooked every time. This is a killer album. You know, it's got spiritual elements to it. It's got that jazz funk in it. The Awakening is a great band. Really, really stoked to have this. It's a pretty tough one to find from their catalog these days. So, very happy to have an original. Now, these next two are from the same person. I actually traded for both of these. Somewhat. I traded for the album I'll show after this one. Really. That's the one I traded for. But he wanted to send me this other album. And his name is Jason. He has a YouTube channel as well. I'm going to link his channel below because the man is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Brazilian music. Also, just a really nice guy. You know, I don't know a lot of Brazilian music. I know some, like this much. And he gave me a lot of great areas to branch out from. Now, I traded for an album I actually did know, though. But this first album he sent me, he was like, hey, I want you to listen to this. He's like, if you like it, give it a shout out on your channel. Shout out the label. He told me that he thinks this label deserves a lot more credit than what they're being given. It's an interesting album. We'll get into that after I show it, though. I'm gonna butcher this name. Please don't come after me. I'm gonna try my best. Unca Combo by Ubisunt. I believe that's what it is. Okay. Interesting album. This is a Brazilian press. This is what the label looks like. Now, where do I start with this? Very hypnotizing. It's like free funk, free jazz, kind of, with a bit of folk influence. That's probably the best way I can describe it. Really dug it, though. I need to listen to it in depth more. But upon first listen, really interesting stuff here. Very fresh, very unique. Now, this is on a label. I'm going to pull the jacket out. This is on a label called Goma Gringa Discos. Goma Gringa Discos. That is the label that he wanted me to talk about if I dug it. Now, let me tell you something. This gatefold is the single nicest jacket I've ever seen on a new record. I don't buy a lot of new records. I know people that have a bunch of new records. I've seen a bunch of new records, like, whatever. I'm not an expert, but this feels like an original Impulse gatefold. It's laminated. It's heavy cardboard. Just really well done. I mean, look at this paper in here. I love this, like, silver print on it. And then another cool thing is that this is actually kind of like a book, and this is numbered. How nice of Jason, man. Really just cool album. Here's the back of it, if you're interested. This is how it's spelled. Check it out. There are videos on YouTube of this, if it sounds like something up your alley. I'm going to be holding on to this. This is a really interesting album. I love the artwork. I love the quality of this, this album. Just even the vinyl, really nicely done, 180 gram. Really awesome stuff. Thank you, Jason. Now, this next album is the one I traded for. This is the Brazilian album that I did know. It was actually on my want list, and he happened to have another copy because he ordered a better copy. Again, I'm gonna butcher this name, but this is Jardes Macale, probably. This is an original Brazilian press on the Philips label. Killer album. I don't know much Brazilian music, but I know this thing is fucking killer. Super funky, really great acoustic guitar on here. Interesting vocals, not vocals all over the place, but man is it funky. This is a funky record. MPB, actually probably my first MPB record. This is some good stuff. If you don't know this record, check it out. I know there was a reissue done in 2013 or something like that. This is a great record. Okay. We're kind of getting into the heavy hitter territory. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more to show. I know it's kind of running long, but this was a bigger stack than the last one. This one's quick though. Finally got the other record that goes with this jacket. I decided to keep the jacket. The jacket's super nice despite these tears. Now, the record itself is really nice. I don't know if you can see this, but there's not a mark on this thing. I was really happy. I thought the pairing went together really well. You know, really nice jacket despite those top and bottom splits. And a really nice record. Love this album, talked about it before. Picked this up in an interesting deal that I did. I did a deal with Martin over at Georgetown Records in Seattle. He decided to buy some of my records off of me. And as part of that, I was like, hey, would you throw this in and then you just give me the balance of whatever's left. And this is a modern jazz symposium of music and poetry with Charles Mingus. Now, this is an original Bethlehem pressing, stereo Bethlehem. I wasn't too familiar with this. I knew it was a rare Mingus album. I love Charles Mingus. He's probably one of my favorite musicians of all time, probably in jazz as well. So I was like, I might as well get it. Another one I was trying to sell, not that I don't like it, it's just, you know, when you think of Mingus, you think of virtuosity. That's what I think of. And this one, it's good playing, but not whoa. That's how I feel about it. But for now, it's sticking around. If you are interested in it, let me know. Maybe we can work something out. Now this next one. The last one leads me into this one. Walked into a store and this was on the wall. Been searching high and low for an original copy of this. Still can't believe I have it. I'll pull it out of the shelf every once in a while just to look at the cover. Black Saint and the Sinner Lady by Mingus. Original stereo pressing on Impulse. Phenomenal album. Love this album. I've talked about it before. It's a really nice copy. The vinyl, meh. VG, solid VG. A little bit of noise here and there, but the music obviously can overpower that. Love this album to death. So happy to have an original. Now this next one. Now, talk about searching high and low for a record. This was at the top of my most wanted list, and cannot believe I have a copy of this. I really can't. This is like mega grail status for me. I actually got this locally. It's funny, I met up with Mike at a store right after I got that, not the Black Saint the Sinner Lady, but the Bethlehem Mingus. He was like, hey, I might go hit this store again. You want to come? And I was like, yeah, I'll come over. It was a store he's been trying to get me to go to for a while. I wasn't too familiar with the store, but I walked in and this was on the turntable playing. They're like, yeah, this just walked in. Meter self-titled. Original pressing on Josie. Can't believe I have this. One I've wanted for a very long time. I've wanted this for years. And I finally have a copy. And it was so random. Definitely paid a good price for this. Don't mind. Knew I was taking it home. Didn't really care what the price was, to be honest. Unless I thought I was really getting ripped off. But it was still a very valid price. Very stoked to have this. The Meters are the funkiest band of all time. Don't mind saying, I mean, maybe the JBs too, but Meters are funky. Super funky. Cannot believe I have that. This record is cut hot, by the way. I don't have the best copy of it. It's got a lot of marks on it, but it still plays great and loud. Just letting you know, in case you're ever wondering about the condition. Okay, I got three big ones. This one is uber rare. I got this off another local store. I went and traded some stuff. I never knew this record before. Saw it in there one day, decided to look it up while at home, and I really dug it. It's a really great session, and it just also happens to be uber rare. This is Roman with Richardson on New Jazz. This is my first New Jazz album, original New Jazz. This is a killer session. Really dig it. You know, I'm happy Jerome isn't playing any flute on this, or he does play flute on Poinciana, but other than that, no flute. He's playing sax the whole time, and I dig it. You've got Jerome Richardson, Richard Wyans, George Tucker on bass, and Charlie Persip on drums. Killer session. You know, not killer in the sense of like, it's just gonna beat it into ya. It's just really good playing. I dig this session a lot. Very happy to have this copy. Got this at Beats and Bohos in Seattle. Love it. Really, really good. I love this orange too, by the way. This nice thick cardboard. These old jackets, I love them. Okay, down to the last two. By the same trio. Got this off my buddy Aaron. We traded for this one. I knew he had this copy. He was just waiting for another copy to come in. Portraits in Jazz. Original stereo pressing. Not the best copy, but plays very well in my opinion. I was super stoked when I got this. This is my first original trio album. You know, the Bill Evans trio these days is notoriously hard to find and find in good condition as well. Again, not the greatest copy, but not the worst. It plays really good. I still really love it. Very, very stoked to have this. Was super stoked Aaron was willing to trade me this. That brings us to the last record in this stack. I know it's been a long video. I don't know if you're still here. If you are, this will be a treat for you, because I know it was for me. Now, I have talked about Ilya Pisman on here before. He is the man who sent me the free Bubble Puppy record. He hit me up about an opportunity to buy a certain record that he knew someone was going to be selling. So he grabbed it for me and he sent it to me. Now, the reason he did that is because I talked about this record in a video. I think it was my, what do they call it? The jazz one, end of the year thing, even though it wasn't at the end of the year. I forget what it's called. I said it was one of my most wanted records, and now I have a copy. This is Waltz for Debbie. This is a 1963 stereo pressing. Now, one, the jacket is very nice, very, very nice. The spine, very nice. The record itself, very, very nice. Besides, what's it called? My Foolish Heart. Not bad, but there is some crackling. That is the only thing wrong with this. Other than that, the other tracks play phenomenally. I still can't believe I have a copy of this. I was very delicate when I opened this package. I was like, ee! I was like, ah. I love this album so much. Like most of us do. It's just killer stuff. Can't believe I have this. I probably will never have to buy another copy in my life because this one's really nice, and I don't think it gets much better than that. Okay. Waltz for Debbie. Okay, guys. I know it's long. I told you it was going to be long. I had a lot of records to show. I love my funk, my jazz. But, again, hope everybody's doing awesome. You know, let me know what you guys feel about the MoFi thing. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know the best record you picked up recently. Whatever you want to tell me. Comments are always open, guys. See you later.